Hey guys, welcome to the Step Outside YouTube channel. If you want to see catches like this, stick around, like and subscribe. Here's what's coming up. Now, the beauty of this Garmin, have a look at this, we're in 86.5 metres of water. I can then zoom in mid-screen and find all these fish here. So there's a lot of snappers sitting in there. You can see them on the ball and on the bottom. They really are starting to move through in large numbers. So we'll just work this area here. Perfect example of what you want to look for when you're on the bottom. So you want these mid-water fish here and the nice schooling bait down the bottom as well. So that way these fish are going to move in. You can tell these are a larger fish, they've got a deeper red to them, so that's a pretty good thing. And fingers crossed we'll be able to get onto a couple over the next couple of drifts. Also working the tide, big thing. If tide's starting to make, obviously fish can go off the bite. And also the Angler's Almanac, have a look at that too. If it's a real nice dark colour, clearly that's the day and the hours you want to be fishing around that moon phase. So putting all that together, it's a bit of a science, but generally you'll come home with a bag of fish. All right, mate, let's drop the lines down. Now the rig that I'm using here, these are pre-packed. They're mustard penetrators. So you've got 5.0, 6.0, 7.0s such as these. These are ideal, ready for the live bait that I'm going to be using. My sinker weight, I'm going to go for a size 8 ball sinker. I think that'll be enough. And I'll run up to probably around about, say, you could call it maybe 4 feet of fluorocarbon, 60 pound, that'll be enough for me. So I'll get that rig together and get baited up. So guys, with our live baits, these little red nets are gold. Goes back in there. One thing I do love about the Surtees boat are these sinker holders. You're not having sinkers banging around everywhere. So I've got my 2-hook rig. The bottom hook's going to go into the back of the fish, like that. Top hook's going to go under his mouth, like that, and out through his nose, like that. Sinker comes out. Sinker's going to run down onto the fish like you can see, and I reckon that'll be enough just to get it pretty much bouncing right off. Tim, you got a fish on? All right, he's on. I'm going to drop this down. We've got the Helmmaster in action now, meaning that it's just reversing into the current. I'll be able to flick him upstream. Let it drift down the side of the boat. The engine will stay in gear. And right below us, I know there's a really good pinnacle with lots of fish on it. So fingers crossed we come up with a couple of pan-sized something or others for dinner tonight. So just dropping down, I'm getting a bite. You can see my rod tip. A little bit of a bounce up. Yep, we're on. That's the beauty of that longer rod. And of course, using braid allows you just to get that direct feel straight down to the fish. Ten metres to go, I'm onto my yellow. Here he comes. Little pan-sized squire. There we go, look at that. Nice little pan-sized fish. Depending where you are around the country, obviously they get much bigger in certain areas, but he's not too bad. New South Wales around 30 centimetres, Queensland around 35. But for me, we'll let him go. See you, buddy. That live bait did really well. Another one. Another drop straight down. What do you got on there, buddy? A little trag. I think that's probably what I've got. His brother as well, mate. That's nice big Jew. That's the bomb, isn't it, really?
Just got to get through the trag to get to the juice.
So what we've got here, folks, this is what we call a pearl perch, very similar to the West Australian Jewfish. You've got to be careful when you pull up these fish. As you can see, it's really soft in this corner part of their mouth, and as you pump and wind, that rips. So if you're using a Paternoster rig, which is the sinker down the bottom, couple of hooks up top, as you pump and wind and you lower the rod tip, you've got to imagine the weight obviously sinks back. So if you're not quick enough, as that weight sinks back, your hook falls out, you'll lose your fish. There's not much fight in the end of these. To start with there is, but they have a very large mouth. Big eyes, deep water fish. This one's coming close, but absolutely stunning to eat. A beautiful eating fish. And just in here, if you take these out, you'll find you can actually use them as a pick on a guitar, which a lot of people do. How cool is that? So I've put on my Surtees Helmsmaster, which is basically it's auto guidance. It's basically like say an electric engine at the front of your boat, but it's on the back. So it's GPS locks where I want to be, so I can drop my line straight down onto the reef here. Engine's fine. There's no one around me, so I know it's pretty safe. A bit different if you're on a bridge pylon, you wouldn't leave the actual station. But for me, I can drop straight up and down and just keep my line away from the engine because I know it's always going to be in gear, out of gear, but it's just doing its own thing. I mean, that's really cool. The beauty of reef fishing, you know, you just don't know what you're going to pull up when you see the fish stacked up on a pinnacle. Anywhere around the country, could be a variety of different species, of course, but I guess that's the interesting part, is that you come out specifically targeting one sort of fish and then another and end up catching something so different, or randomly you go, oh, that's pretty cool. This one, wouldn't have a clue. Fighting a little bit differently. Okay, so this is what we call a trag Jew or traglan. So they're very similar to a mulloway. They're a beautiful eating fish. They've got a real yellow mouth, as you can see here. So that's the traglan Jew. They do get up to around, I've caught them before, around that 4 to 6 kilo mark, even a little bit bigger, out wider on the shelf.
Big fish, big fish.
Oh, that's a biggie, Timmy.
Big fish.
Good on you, mate. Get into it, buddy. We'll let him go and let Tim get his fish up. Nice, mate. Get him up, buddy. Well done, Tim. That's a nice fish there, mate.
The right colour.
That's a big Jewy.
Right colour.
On that live bait. Yeah. Look at that, everyone. On a live bait, a monstrous Jewy. What a beautiful fish.
How good is that?
Mate, well done, buddy. That's nice, eh? Now, a lot of people might ask what that pink thing is there. That's his tummy. So he's trying to regurgitate what he hooked up, and obviously that was that live bait. So there you have it, everyone, using that live bait rig, fishing these local reefs. Mate, you're catching a nice one. Good on you. Happy birthday too, by the way.
What a wonderful day and a good start.
Yeah, don't say I don't give you anything for your birthday, mate.
Thanks, mate.
No worries, mate. You are welcome. Half of that's mine too, eh?
Really?
That is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's some tips for catching mulloway. A 6 to 10 kilo spin or overhead combo is ideal. 2 hook live bait rig. 5/0s and 6/0s generally enough depending on the size of the bait. Catch your bait from where you're fishing. That's what the fish are feeding on, quite simple. Vary the sinker weight. You need to do that in case the current's running. Not much current, drop it right back. And fish the pinnacles where the bait balls are. That's where you'll catch the big ones. Good luck.
And of course, thanks for watching Step Outside YouTube channel for lots of cooking and fishing action. Like, subscribe, and of course comment for more catches like this and cooking recipes.